like to be famous in every time period?
Famous in every time period. The Stone Age. The Stone Age is a cool and interesting time period where a lot of important events took place. But one thing the Stone Age is not known for is its celebrities. Specifically because celebrities didn't even exist back then. Neither did the concept of fame.
The Flintstones existed, Ty. You know what I'm saying?
At least not in a way that even closely resembles our modern understanding.
Bro,
of it.
she's
But that's
at the
okay,
casino,
because
bro.
we're going to use our caveman brains to understand fame in the Stone Age. During the Stone Age, life was simple. Everything was based around survival. Humans typically existed in nomadic tribes, and your days were typically...
Bro, can y'all believe that we was really like that back in the day, bro? We had f***ing mush for brains, bro. Niggas was out there f***ing using sticks and rocks to make fire, bro. I couldn't do it, but hey, shout out them though.
spent
Shout out
either
them.
chilling or surviving. With that being said, if you were a notable person in your tribe, you could potentially be
Tarzan, bro. Fucking Tarzan.
famous. How could you become a notable person in your tribe? Being an exceptionally good hunter, runner, jumper, gatherer, or lover. Stories could be told to other tribes about these famous individuals to help spread their fame. And this early style of social status could potentially award these
Damn,
individuals
it's so
perks,
crazy
like first dibs.
how like notoriety and celebrity status back then was all through word of mouth, bro. That's so crazy.
On the hunt, larger portions, mating benefits, and more. Now you might be thinking, yeah, that's interesting, but who
Damn, how the fuck were... Yo, what happened when these niggas got sick and had babies? What the... Yo, them niggas was low-key advanced as fuck. I wonder who the first nigga, I wonder who was the first nigga to fuck? Shit, Adam. They just died, but did they really though? Because if they just died, bro, we wouldn't have these technological advances and shit like that, bro. Like, they had... Like, I don't know.
Who are the most famous
I don't
people
know.
from the Stone Age? And I'm going to tell you, and it's really quite interesting. The
Tarzan.
most famous people from the Stone Age were never famous in the Stone Age. They are famous in the modern day. How does this happen? It's because these people from the
Over
Stone
time.
Age had their bodies preserved from the Stone Age till the modern day. Carbon dating allowed us to pinpoint their age, and the fact that these bodies were so old was extremely notable in the scientific community, making these 5,000-year-old bodies way more notable than anybody ever was in the
That's
Stone Age.
crazy.
An example of one of these famous dead bodies is named
Dude,
Ötzi,
Rain.
also known as the Iceman. He is Europe's
Iceman?
oldest known natural human mummy, and his body dates back over 5,000 years to the very end.
Yeah, that's low-key kind of con, bro. What the fuck? That's low-key kind of comp, though, bro. So you trying to tell me they just saw this nigga frozen as fuck, took him in, and was like, wait, that means, like, they had to keep that nigga body preserved in ice for that long. That's crazy.
End of the Stone Age. His body was discovered on September 19th, 1991 on
What the fuck? What the fuck?
the Austrian-Italy border in the Alps, and his body was so well preserved that they were able to almost identify everything about this individual and learn a
That's
lot
kinda calm.
about the Stone Age as a time period. His body is now one of the most researched bodies of all human history, and
That's
his
calm.
unintentional mummification has been extremely helpful to scientific development. So yeah, if you want to be famous in the Stone Age, be a good hunter or something. But if you really want to be famous in the Stone Age, die high up in a mountain in the ice so your body will be preserved, and let people find it in a few thousand years. And if you really, really, really want to be famous, die in a funny pose on the top of a mountain. Honestly, living in a time where social status wasn't really a thing and it didn't matter so much sounds pretty good. But what doesn't sound
Yeah,
good about the
everyone's
Stone Age is the
normal.
fact that they did not have today's video sponsor,
Hell
World of
no, bro.
Warships.
How you gonna have a fucking cool ass video and then have a dumbass ad like this, bro? Man, shut that shit up, bro.
Mass production and utilization of
Bro.
bronze. But we're not talking
W
about the
bag, nigga, fuck they bag, bro. If it ain't going to me, fuck them niggas. My
famous
fault. My fault, bro. Bro just told me to end my shit.
itself for its
Fuck.
mass production and utilization of bronze. But we're not talking about
My
the
fault.
fame of the time period. We're talking about being famous
What age we
in
in?
this time
Oh, the
period,
Bronze Age.
which fortunately is a little bit more exciting than being famous in the Stone Age. The Bronze Age not only represented development in technology, but also development in society. We went from stone tools to bronze tools, and from small tribes to massive empires.
Is it crazy to say that I do not remember hearing about the fucking Bronze Age? Like, in school, like they never referred to it as the Bronze Age.
One of the most notable and famous empires being the Assyrians. A great example of a famous individual from this time period
Yeah, that
is
is crazy.
Zor
Yeah,
Ashur
like-
the First, He is
Never
known to
heard
be
about the
the
Bronze
first
Age.
king of Assyria and is also considered to be the founder of Assyria as an independent city-state. Now, this isn't an Assyrian history lesson, but this is important context to the concept of fame in the time period. So let's get into it. What did it
Shit,
take
nigga,
to
who's
be
the first
famous
person to
during the
make
Bronze
bronze
Age?
shit, bro?
How did this fame become perpetuated and have lasting impact? And what benefits did you receive as a famous person in the Bronze Age? Well, for starters, becoming famous in the Bronze Age is a bit of an interesting concept because, like the Stone Age,
Yo, we might get on Minecraft one of these days, bro. I'm kind of itching. I ain't gonna lie. We might get on Minecraft one of these days. No,
Bronze Age fame.
This video
wasn't
making
a
me wanna
thing,
play that
at least
bitch.
Not in a traditional sense. Fame was more or less of a byproduct of being a notable member in society, specifically a political
Let's do it. I don't wanna
influence
do
or
it no
a
more.
leader, which is why Bazour Ashur was my pick for a famous
I'm just
example.
kidding,
He was
bro.
a founding member of the Assyrian state and one of the first kings of Assyria. Pretty notable in my opinion. And
Yo, Mad Dog, I'm not gonna lie. If you was standing right in front of me, I would smack the absolute dog shit out of you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I would smack the fucking dog shit out of you, bro. Holy fuck. Good night, Simba.
definitely someone that people knew about. How was his fame perpetuated? Typically in this case through word of mouth, stories, and potentially even statues and temples in their name and honor. Now, as far as unique benefits from being famous in the Bronze Age, I want to kind of throw a wrench in this because
Alright,
considering
fuck me, I just
that
gotta
being
get
famous
it,
in the
bro.
Bronze Age typically came from political influence or being a highly powerful individual. So the benefits that you had in society weren't typically from the fame you had. The fame you had was because of the influence
The
you
shit
had,
you
and
had
that
to do,
influence you had is
yeah.
what brought you your great lifestyle. An example of this would be, sure, a king is well known and lived an amazing life. But is it because they're well known the fact that they lived an amazing life? No. If there was
the
a bum
influence.
on the street that everybody knew about because he was just always in the street doing crazy things, would he instantly live a
Hey,
better
yo!
life because everyone knew him?
Bro,
No,
butt
that
cheeks
sort
is
of
out.
attention brought them almost no gain and potentially would only bring them more misery, which may sound familiar to modern day times, but we'll get into that later. Whether the fame
That nigga low-key spitting. He was getting clout, but he wasn't getting clout for the right reasons type shit, bruh.
it or not, if you were famous during the Bronze Age, it was because you were a highly influential person, and because of that, you had the ability to live your life to the fullest and have everything that the Bronze Age was able to provide. The best housing, the best clothing, the best bronze
The
tools,
best
the best
niggas.
bronze ornaments,
My
access to land, access to livestock, and if
I
you
just
were
asked the
really
question,
notable,
fuck
a
you.
Templar.
Like, we in the middle of something, you like, can you like react to... Can you like react to something scary? Nigga, I got 2 scary shits queued up, bruh. We gonna get to it, nigga.
Two, the Iron Age. Once again, new era of technological advancement, new era of civilization. This time, it's the introduction and mass production of iron, a much easier to forge and find metal. Iron Age fame was relatively similar to Bronze Age fame,
Hell
just
yeah.
at a slightly larger scale. Civilization was growing, empires were building, and in some cases, rebuilding. And
Bro, that's so
society's
crazy to me. Niggas was really out here in fucking shining armor and shit like that, bro. Like, how the fuck did we get from that to what the fuck I got on? Like, what the hell?
famous in the Iron Age
That's so
came
crazy.
from places of political power. Now, just to throw another wrench in the system, I will say this. Because I am focusing on society's most famous individuals, this doesn't mean that other notable society members
Bro, when niggas had beef, bro, they wouldn't just shoot niggas. Niggas would go to stadiums and fight to the death, nigga. Like, that's so crazy to me.
didn't exist. Just the simple scale of their quote-unquote fame
Not
could
even stadiums,
compare. Due to
arenas,
the nature
bro.
of these societies being relatively centralized
Shit,
and not
low-key
yet
calm,
globalized,
God.
being a notable merchant or artist in your city or country could not compare to the level of notoriety that the leaders would have in their own empire and other empires. Quantifying fame is interesting, especially in time periods where it wasn't even really a thing. So definitely keep in mind that this is a trust me bro approach. Regardless of if these leaders were loved or feared, they were
I was about to say, so back in the Bronze Age, it was just damn, bro. You made that shit, type shit. Here, money, bro. So now it's these niggas taking it up. These niggas making empires and shit like that. That's crazy, bro.
known. And a good example from the Iron Age is Boudica. No, not booty call, Boudica. She's
Shit, nigga, I thought he was talking about Budokai Tenkaichi 3, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I thought that's what he was talking about, bro. So would the Iron Age be like Skyrim? Would that be like Skyrim? Or is Skyrim more of the not Stone Age, the medieval age?
actually badass. For context on how famous she was and how important her story was, they literally just made a movie about her story like last year. It's called Boudica, the Queen of War. And it's not like her story was just randomly dug up for this movie. No, her story has been told and held in high regard ever since her life. This is real notability and honestly goes far beyond fame. You might be asking, well, what does she do? Boudica is a significant figure in British history known specifically for her fierce resistance against the Roman occupation, which at the time was spreading quickly. But
shit, they way better than me, bro, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm a bitch, nigga. I'm a bitch. Motherfuckers was really about to die by some shit, nigga. Not me. I like my life. I'm sorry. Shit, I like my life, nigga. Shit, you can go on the front lines and fight, nigga. I'm gonna be back here, shit, eating my soup and shit.
Her fierce resistance against Roman forces united her tribe with other tribes such as the Celtics, which led to a significant rebellion. Her strategy, bravery in battle, determination, and fight for good made her a
so this bitch was Captain America.
Her people and the Celtics as well. Boudica stood for something, and to her people, she became a symbol of defiance against imperial power. And her legacy continues to inspire discussions about resistance, identity, and leadership to the modern day. Boudica stood for something, believed in it, and fought as hard as she could. That is respectable and also super cool. In short, being a queen made her famous, but being a badass made her an icon. The medieval era. Medieval times. Now this is something we can talk about. Think about castles. Knights in castles at night, mutton and ale. But let's focus on fame.
Man, them niggas was getting,
who's your favorite?
Them niggas was getting goddamn drunk in a bitch out there every fucking day, bro.
Famous person from the medieval era.
Thor!
If you're a history buff, you probably actually have an answer to this. And like the eras before this, your answer is probably somewhat tied to the royal family, social status, and something that's new to this era is the church. But during this period of time, other mediums of expression are becoming more popular and therefore allowing notability to come from more than just your leadership within the community. Specifically, art and literature. Are these new or exclusive to the Middle Ages? Of course not. But significant development was made during this time period. A great example of an author famous for her literature during the medieval era is Anna Komnene. Ironically, she is a princess, but that wasn't her claim to fame. Due to her social status and access to knowledge, she was proficient in history, literature, philosophy, theology, maths, and medicine. Because of this, she was respected well by her peers.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. So the reason that niggas were getting famous in the medieval era was from how much stuff they knew on an intellectual level and not just on the physical level.
Combined with her social status would be enough to be quite famous in the time period. But this is only the beginning.
But that's not fair though. She low-key had like a boost type shit. Like she was already famous. Nigga, this don't count.
In an orphanage and a hospital with a combined head count of over 10,000, and she even taught medicine as well. But on top of all this, she is most well known for her writing the Alexiad, which simply put is a detailed breakdown of her dad's rule, specifically the Byzantine account of the First Crusade. So what were some unique benefits that famous literature composers could enjoy in the medieval era? Well, specifically patronage from the nobility and the church, which typically came in the form of financial support and social status as a byproduct of being associated with them. They also had special access to education, scholarly resources, allowing them to refine their craft. These composers often also held prestigious positions in royal courts or in religious institutions, gathering them influence and recognition. And additionally, and likely most important,
damn, bro. So niggas is starting to build up the goddamn, what's this shit called, bro? I can't think of the fucking shit right now, bro.
The fact that their works were preserved through...
It's like the beginning of like the Supreme Courts and shit. That's crazy.
Ensuring their legacy and impact on further generations. This is exactly how Anna's story was told and others like it. Of course, there's other ways you could be famous and other unique benefits of being famous, but for the sake of variety and keeping fresh stories for each time period, this is a pretty cool example in my opinion. The early modern era. Guys, I'm excited. We're getting extremely close to talking about the extreme value that TikTokers provide to society. But before we get to that, we must talk about...
We don't provide that much, bro. All them niggas provide is like exposure, bro.
The early modern era. Guys, I'm excited. We're getting extremely close to talking about the extreme value that TikTokers provide to society. But before we get to that, we must talk about the fame of the early modern era. If you watched the rich in every time period video or poor in every time period video, then you would know that in the early modern era, there was a lot of international trade, colonization, globalization happening. And for that reason, in those videos, in this time period specifically...
Bro, like, niggas was really on ships just exploring shit and getting on random lands and conquering that shit, bro. Like that is so crazy to me, bro.
Focused on conquests, travel, trades of luxurious goods. And for that reason, in this video, I want to take a different approach. I won't be talking about any famous or notable explorers. Instead, I'm going to be talking about artists. One famous artist in particular. You may know him. His name's William Shakespeare. By the time the early modern era came around, the significance of art in society was solidified. And the different mediums of art has grown exponentially. Shakespeare, for example, was a poet and playwright. He enjoyed considerable success and recognition during his lifetime, particularly in London, where he was an active member of the theater scene, and he was celebrated for his plays and poetry, which appealed to a broad audience, from royalty to commoners, which wasn't extremely common. Shakespeare's works were performed in prestigious venues like the Global Theatre.
Man, I fucking hate English, but it's so crazy how fucking literature just carries all these fucking... It just carries every fucking time period.
And he got significant wealth from influential figures attending his plays, such as Queen Elizabeth I and King James I. His fame brought him riches and social status, allowing him to buy land and to secure a comfortable lifestyle. Despite the lack of modern media, he was able to still spread his message through his performances, printed plays, and word of mouth through anybody who saw one of his amazing shows. There is no doubt that William Shakespeare is one of the most famous and enduring playwrights of all time.
Who's your favorite playwright?
A great way to get famous is plays or public performances in popular venues, printed materials such as books and pamphlets, and also getting as close as you can to the royal family, of course. The present day. We made it. We started all the way back in...
Listen to how fucking lame we're gonna fucking sound, bro, in comparison to everybody, bro. I think for like the modern day, to get your notoriety, well, they touched on literature, but I feel like now they're gonna touch on like filmmaking and acting, bro, and just social media and the whole.
In the Stone Age, and now we are here to the present day to talk about all the amazing celebrities that we have, because celebrities are a thing now, and some people are famous from being famous, and some people are rich from just being famous. It's a great and completely fair time. And since I've given an example of a famous person from every other time period, let me give you one for the present day. You're looking at it. Me, baby. Trust me, bro. The most famous stick figure in all the land. That's not true, because this guy still exists, but I'd like to think we're a notable stick. On a serious note, over history, things have become more and more decentralized, which is cool, and fame is not exempt from that, meaning that the ways that you can get famous now are seemingly endless, especially with the invention of the internet.
Shit, nigga, I can go stub my toe, bro. You know what, fuck it, I'm about to make an account. I'm gonna make an account of me just stubbing my toe every day for a year, and we're gonna see the process of that account.
Obviously, political leaders, religious leaders, and influential people of the such are still famous, but now there's a lot more ways to also become and stay famous, such as models, journalists, athletes, gamers, content creators, and more. Modern day celebrities enjoy a lot of luxuries, one of which being getting free things that they could already afford, special treatment in almost every scenario, and other cool stuff like that. But yeah, if you are curious about what fame looked like in every time period, let this serve as a very brief and extremely oversimplified explanation. I tried my best in each time period to provide an example of a famous person, how they would have gotten famous, how they would have stayed famous, and the benefits they would have gotten as a famous person. I loved researching this video because I learned about some cool women of history, which I didn't know about, which is always cool. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're still hungry for more time period videos, click on this video right here. This is what it was like to be rich in every time.
No, I ain't gonna lie, I am gonna... Yeah, go ahead and add those ones to that motherfucker too, bro. I ain't gonna lie, let me add
what it was like to be rich.
I actually fucked with this. No cap. Save. And then I want to see the fucking, I know he has one about being broke. I know he does. Shit, I'll find that shit on my own though. But W fucking video, I actually like that.